Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And Sheikh is back, baby. Yes, he's been away for a while, but don't worry, the ultimate Sweden main is back and he's ready to rock. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a game between Sheikh and Giggs, a well-known ESOC community member, does lots of stuff with the recent tournament at the moment on ESOC. And yeah, this one's going to be a good one. We've got a fantastic matchup here. Sweden versus China on the top right part of the map. Of course, we have Sheikh here playing as the Swedes in the cyan. And on the bottom left part of the map, we have Giggs here playing as China in the red. So, fantastic. Two fantastic civs. I don't see the Swedes that much actually on the ladder at the moment. Kind of a weird one. They're kind of sort of dropped in popularity quite a bit. I don't know whether that's because of the last couple of updates, but hopefully Sheikh is going to bring it back, baby. He's going to bring this civ back to people. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Sweden enjoyers, I really hope you enjoy this one as well. And without further ado, let's get into it. So we are seeing the standard 2-torp opening here, of course, from Sheikh. And we have the deck already in. He's super confident. He doesn't care what Giggs is doing. He's locking that baby in straight away. And we can see here what the deck is. So some interesting cards. We have the Ulita Stuckbruck, which is the leather cannon and artillery foundry wagon. That's quite a nice card if you need to double down into leather cannons in H2, along with, of course, the classic 2 leather cannon costing you 150 food. And the crucial ones, Engelsberg, Dominions, you know the whole thing. I'm not going to go over it all the time, but we see the blueberries, we see blackberries for later on in the game, and some interesting ones. Of course, the copper mines is really nice. So you can go into Hessian Jaegers, because you can also train those after you get this card. So, there we go. That is it in a nutshell. That is Sheikh wrapped up for now, and he's getting his 3 settlers in with his first card. Let's have a quick look at Giggs here. So China, once again, lots of different ways of approaching China, I think, still. Most of them involve the fast fortress, of course. And we see the French consulate way here. So it's not the Russian consulate, it's the French consulate. And of course, that all-important 300 food crate that you get so you can get up into the next stage pretty darn quickly. Something interesting, actually, we are seeing the good faith agreements here. So this is an unusual way to go. Normally you don't see this with China. Normally you hold the card. So interestingly, we are seeing the good faith agreements here. So consulate armies and improvements, they arrive faster. And also the cost of them are greatly reduced. But something interesting there you can see, if you go for the 5 petards, the export cost for that is actually 10% more. And we can now see the Summer Palace. So once again, that's kind of the preferred route for wonders for China. Some people like to go for the Porcelain Tower in H2. I'm not entirely sure myself, to be honest, but we do see 4 vills on the Summer Palace. Very kind of standard, and I would call that meta, quote unquote meta. Sheikh here slightly ahead on the age up, transitioning onto wood, of course, and he's going to be aging up with the good old governor. 200 gold and an outpost is going to be coming his way. And the main thing with Sweden is kind of the same throughout. You know, it still centers around massing Karolians a lot. Some Swedes like to tap into Hussars a little bit as well, which I really like the idea of, but not a lot of Swedish players do it. And with Sweden, you kind of always need to play some kind of H2 because you're going to have to wait to build your torps up to get some map control before you decide to go into the Fortress Age. So that's the kind of strange thing about Swedes. I think they're very hard to fast fortress, and it's definitely not ideal to try and do that. We can see, of course, as I mentioned, Dominions, the kind of go-to card you always want to go for first when you get into H2. It's going to give you 4 torp wagons and increase their HP. Let's have a look at Giggs here. So, yeah, he has got up in age, and he's going for diplomatic intrigue immediately, and that's going to really synergize well with the good faith agreements. So he's going to be able to do something here, and you can see he's actually ending his relation here. So I'm really interested to see what's going to be happening, what he's going to be going for. Is he just going to go for Brits here and just go for some musketeers? We are seeing a war academy going down. Okay, yeah. So this, so basically this spells definitely not Fast Fortress, guys. You're seeing War Academy going down pretty much straight into Age 2 here. And of course, you're seeing Diplomatic Intrigue. Normally, you would immediately see 700 coin coming in, or maybe 7-Step Rider, then 700 coin. But we are seeing this happening right now. I honestly, I mean, I might be wrong. I don't think we're going to be seeing an Age 3 just yet with how this is playing out. We can see food and wood coming in here, which says to me, and also actually he's going to be using the cheap good faith agreements here to get a cheaper batch of wood crates from the advanced consulate here, and he's going to be able to synergize that well with the Old Han army. I think he's going to be definitely tapping into food and wood macro here. So yeah, there it is. Yeah, of course, Old Han army coming in. The good old Chukanu Kiang pikeman is going to be going, and yeah, he's probably still got space. Yeah, and he's actually now going to end the relation with France, so it'll be interesting to see what he's going to be going with. But we do see a nice forward barracks here from Sheikh, so going to be pushing in a little bit. What is his vision? He's got no idea what Giggs has gone for here. I don't know whether he was anticipating a Fast Fortress or something, but he's got 5 Corollians walking in now. What is he going to be finding? He's going to be seeing a War Academy, immediately some Chukanus very early, so he probably knows that, yeah, okay, it's not going to be a Fast Fortress like I thought. And, yeah, he's going to be backing off here a little bit. And we can see Sheikh now just continuing with the Corollians here, losing quite a few to the Chukanu and TC fire. And what is the next thing for Giggs? He's just going to keep tapping into that wood, ladies and gents. And interesting, he's actually switched to the German consulate, which is quite nice. German consulate gives you access to trickles, so you can use your export for trickles. And immediately, boom, boom, boom. The minute I say that, bang, we've got wood trickle. Bang, we've got food trickle. Look how fast they're coming in because of the good faith agreements. This is quite nice. A lot of switcheroony with the consulate here, and now he's quite confident. He's doubling down. He's putting a second war academy this early on. It's quite unheard of with China because how much the banner armies cost and how much wood outlay they cost. But he's confident. He's got the 700 wood now coming in, or has come in, along with the 500 from the consulate. He is absolutely flush with wood now. Giggs has some bare wood. Some bare wood. Oh my god, it's happening. We're seeing a stables this early on. This is great. This is fantastic to see. I'm loving it. We're seeing a stable opening here. Well, not maybe opening, but we're seeing it being put down relatively early in the game by Sheikh here. He's going to be rolling out now with the leather cannons. Going to be going for that first kind of push, see what he can get. Yes, he's now queuing in that Hussar. And he has got a few vills on coin. Just a few, because of the Hussars as well. So, yeah, he's going to struggle here a little bit. Once he gets Engelsberg in, I think that's probably going to be his next card. Unless he wants to go for 3 Huss. I would imagine the Engelsberg is probably the better way to go. And, yeah, looks like Giggs is going to try and advance here. He's got the staggered formation on the Chukanu. Going to try and see if he can pick off that leather cannon, but he's going to be unsuccessful. And he's going to have to move back a bit here, but he's trying to see if he can do as much damage as possible. And, yeah, something you don't normally see, ladies and gents, is the Old Han. It's the new Old Han is back. Sheikh saying, are you ready? Oh, I think it was paused, maybe, potentially. I think he just did a quick pause there that you don't actually see. And now we see town government coming in. So that's going to give him the extra population on his villages. And he's going to be popping the sentries coming out, the militiamen. And look at the amount of units here. Corollian's just going to get stuck in. You've got to be careful. Corollian's very high hand attack when they do charge. They're going to actually be able to do pretty darn well against the pikemen here. And look at the Hussars just weaving round the back line, trying to get into the Chukanus. Doing a good job trying to disperse the pikemen. And pretty good overall engagement there by Sheikh. And we do see double batch Old Han coming out. Nearly got another card available here for Giggs. Sheikh, on the other hand, has just got the Stuckbrück card. He's going to get an artillery foundry. He's going to get another leather cannon. And he's going to be doubling down into Age 2 here. And look at all the resources that he needs to get spending. Look at this, though. Fantastic. Look at this. Nice micro there, making sure to pick off those pike as quickly as possible. No Chu Canoe left at the moment. They're going to get cleared up. It's looking pretty darn good at the moment for Shake. Looking great score-wise as well. But never count Chinese out. That's all I can say. We do now see the 3 Hussars. He hasn't gone for Engelsberg, which is pretty interesting. So he's managing to keep up with the coin demand, and yeah, he's just gonna. I think he's just gonna use the Hussars here and micro around them and get them gone. And he doesn't want to throw these Hussars away. I know there's quite a lot here, but these pike are actually going to get a pretty darn good trade. And boom, there's another pop of pike here. This is not... Yeah, Shake needs to keep his eye on the ball. He's actually lost all of his Huss there, which was actually really unfortunate. And is this poor leather cannon going to get picked off here? He needs to do a little switcheroony. And yeah, this is actually quite unfortunate here. We do see another barracks going down. So many military buildings here down for Shake. 10 minutes into the game. I think he is going to go for Engelsberg next. He's got to do it, surely. But we're seeing some fantastic... Well, I'd say hit and miss micro with the Hussars. I mean, I think he probably kept his eye just a little bit off the ball there with his 6 or 7 Hussars that were right here. He did lose nearly all of those, which was a shame. But apart from that, he's been doing pretty well. And yeah, he needs his Carolians to deal with these pikes. So he's going to have to just back off. Nice little drag pull there. Did you see that? Drag pulling, guys. If you don't know what it is, just have everything dragged and then click it somewhere. And any sort of units behind will quickly skirt up. Will scoot up into your main force. And they will run a little bit faster. You can actually do that on Age of Mythology as well, by the way. Right, yes, Engelsberg coming in. Going to be doubling that coin income there from the Torps, which is really nice. Double batch of Carolians on the way. So an interesting kind of first... This is an interesting one because, you know, there hasn't really been a lot of pressure on the map here from Giggs. He's been really pushing his base, so Shake's been at a great advantage here, managing to max out on Torps, which is the worst thing you can do, really, when you're against Swedes. You want to shut the Torp production down as soon as possible, and going Old Han Army should have really given him the opportunity to be able to siege a lot of Torps, because, you know, Kiang Pikemen have 30 siege, and it's a great kind of counter to go, but he hasn't actually got really off the mark. I say that, he has got some step riders that just went round there and annoyed villagers. So I think he's going to start to see if he can spot Torps here with the step riders. And I think he just recently got that out of his TC there. So yeah, hasn't got a huge amount of cards in Age 2 here. Obviously fully decked in Age 3. You can see here, this is the look. And yeah, pretty kind of standard, apart from the Good Faith can be a little bit, you know, sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. It's nice to see it being used. It's quite unpopular, the Good Faith agreements for China, and he is going to try and get in there with the step. He's just going to brute force it. I think he is. The Chu Canoes being able to do a huge volley there. And one leather cannon goes down, and definitely the next one does as well. And it's looking pretty good, but hang on a second. Hussars coming in. Is there enough pike here? Pike changing formation here. They're trying to get round if they can, but Shake doing a good job focusing them down. This is what you need to do, guys. Really improve at your micro. Pinpoint focus those pike down, and look at that, stripping them bare. And now the Hussars once again free to do what they do best, to absolutely slice and dice Chu Canoes. And they're coming in now, and the main force is rolling forward. So a real sort of toing and throwing here from Shake and Giggs. A good old classic Age 2 scrap. That's what we like to see. A lot of wood here now for Giggs. He's got another card available. What is his option? What is he going to do? He is going to go for the Northern Refugees. I quite like that. He's going to get 4 villages. Is it amazing? It's not amazing. I don't know. Maybe going standard army hit points would be good here. He gets 20% on his Chu Canoes, and that's what he's continuing to produce. I don't know. I feel like that might have been a little bit better than 4 villagers. I don't know. 26 vills, Shake on 33 villagers, more villagers and more Torps. His eco is off the chain. And we now do see another switch on the consulate now to the Brits. And we see the Redcoats in play now. So that's the main thing with the Good Faith agreements. You want to keep making sure that you're utilizing it. Such great value. Unfortunately, losing the Explorer there. That is kind of huge. The Chinese Explorer is very, very good. And yeah, we do now see pressure here on the Summer Palace. What can the Dukanus do? I don't know, this looks kind of rough. There's a lot of leather cannons. When this massive leather cannons happen, it can always be a problem. Double batch of Corollians going to be coming in to reinforce very shortly. And he's still got Max Torps here. He's still got Giggs in his base. And Giggs just can't get a break right now. That's what he needs. And we now see 700 coin coming in. Potential opportunity to age. I don't think he's going to use it. He's going to go straight through the rubble of that Summer Palace. Straight on to the Dukanus. Quick switch from Giggs there. Trying to get the pike on top of the Hussars. But there's just so much here. Cannons doing a good job. Going to be like those volleys of those cannons is brutal to the Dukanus. And what do we see from Giggs? Another batch of Old Han coming out of there. And there is the GG. Ladies and gents. What a fantastic sort of new style. Not new style, but just something different, you know? Like normally in this kind of matchup, you see China go Fast Fortress, for example, and you'd start to see the classic sort of Changdao, Arquebusier. You'd see that, and then you'd see, you know, spamming of the home city cards, military shipment. And instead, we're seeing like the good faith agreements coming in, something different that we're seeing once again with China, different ways of getting to different destinations. We saw basically a very early double War Academy coming out. We're seeing the consulate switching like 3 times. We're seeing all the trickles coming in from Germany. We're seeing the early food, of course, then the 500 wood shipment from the French consulate in H2, which really synergized well with getting the Old Han, which is, of course, food and wood. So an interesting way to get in there. I think it worked pretty well, but the shame is, you know, Giggs just couldn't get out of his base. He couldn't start sieging those torps. Maybe he should have got the 7 Step Rider card a little bit earlier. He could have gone round here, for example, started sieging, being annoying, maybe raiding, maybe going more of the standard army build, which is the Step Rider and the Chukanu. It's the food and coin option, potentially. I'm not too sure, but an interesting game at that. Sheikh really going out heavy here and fortifying the sort of forward base position. Going for a nice early stable, which is great to see. Seeing some Hussars from a Swedish player early on is really refreshing to see. And of course, double racks there and an artillery foundry. Maxing on torps. Really good eco. And yeah, fantastic game. You can see, look at that eco. That is what I'm talking about. Nearly double the eco here. Resource gathering. Look at this when you start getting it online, and if you're not challenged enough, if you can't challenge your Swedish opponent, you are stuffed overall, I'm afraid. But there we go, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed another casted game. Big boy Sheikh is back. You've seen it here. You've seen it here first. We're seeing Swedes back in action, which I love to see. And of course, Giggs here playing a very different style for China in H2. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Of course, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this, and I'll catch you in the next video or the next stream. Catch you later, guys. Bye.